Hi guys, and welcome back to one of my videos. The model of today is something finally simple and easy, You will say, oh, finally Paolo built a car that is absolutely something that also we have in the stash and there's no problem to build up this. It's not that way. Everything started because they took a model from Revel. They mentioned on the box Porsche 956. Wonderful, why not? Jägermeister colors, it's absolutely easy. I was not so much inside the series of the 962, 956, I don't know, but after the Gunnar Porsche 966 that I just made, I wanted to do something easy, straight from the box, absolutely easy, just using nice decal provided in the kit. Reveling that boxes have cartograph printed decal that are absolutely great in quality, sometimes it's also worth it just to buy the entire box to keep the decal sheet and trash everything that you find in the rest of the box. So I took that model and immediately I started to study and say, okay, 956, where can be a cheap 950, usually Revel reboxes a model from other companies, even more in that years. I think it was stuff than more than 10 or 15 years ago. And my nightmare should have been if they did a rebox about the terribly, absolutely ugly Protar 956 car. That is a kind of hybrid body and absolutely it's terrific, but you can find today in the newer 2020 catalog from Italeri exactly that Protar model. And instead, inside the Revel box, you will find the Hasegawa 962 model, that is a pretty decent model, despite there is some different opinion about the proportion of the body, but it's anyway a 962. And externally, the main difference, with the 962, you basically see the wheel arch that were a little different because this was a late model of I mean, they provided another model with the bigger rims and so on, so it is a little more bulged, and the space, this space from the door to the front wheel is a little different in the night. So the car is extremely looking like 956. It's an evolution of the 956, the 962. But basically, it was not a 956, so they mentioned on the box 956 because they made the decal, wonderful decal of the 956 Jägermeister. It was referred, I discovered later, to the 1984 Porsche 1956 used by Stefan Bellof at the norisring race. And I like it a lot, that version. The car is absolutely is lovely. I mean, who cannot like the 956 model? The problem was that what I get inside the box was not 956 fitting the decal they provided. The only 956 that exists around is this one made by Tamiya, made in many different liveries. This one, surely nearly all of you Porsche lover have it, is the long tail and different nose we see later. Porsche 956 used at Le Mans, the Le Mans configuration. And basically, the biggest issue in the beginning for me was to convert this kind of long tail body into a short tail body. So I start to achieve picture and Google it, and then I discovered that, of course, the proportion of the tail was something that was much more similar to the 962, because the 962 have been made by Hasegawa mold in the short tail configuration, the configuration with high downforce. And it's immediately different that all the car is shorter and the fins are much bigger and with a different proportion. All the wing is different, so it was a different panel body. So you may say it was not so simple but not so impossible to cut the tail of the 956, make it shorter, change these two fins, so very short and very easy and quick conversion, and then check carefully all the differences. But then reading little by little, I also discovered that the sprint race configuration had also different front lights. If you see the front light from the Tamiya standard 956 is the one that provide the interior, and interior is the basic part of the engine and the mechanical with the gearbox and part of the suspension. But if you see the front lights, you see immediately that the front nose is different than the sprint version. The sprint version, as properly reproduced in the 962, is different for the dimension of the front light from the dimension of the nose, and all this line, if you check at your model, all this front end is quite completely different, because there is a step coming down from the line of the lights and ends nearly to zero, so the final part became like a leap. So it's basically impossible to have a model of the 956 in the short tail configuration. So I started the modification, so I cut the front part of the model. I shortened it off a 1.5 millimeter in the length, and I reglue the part, cutting the final lip in the way that, taking away nearly 3 millimeter of plastic from this front part, you can create quite easy a lip that became like a spoiler in the front of the 956, you know. The rear hatch had no major surprises, you know, because I mean, when you get the shape of how it should be, it's enough that you cut the body in the proper dimension. For this you can also take the dimension for the 962, because they were quite similar. This part of the panel line is different. I don't know if you can see that properly. Is different in the 956 than to the 962. And I would like to see if I have another. No, I don't find it right now, but it's okay. So the conversion went on that direction, so I started to convert the body. But then when I was making the body, I say, hey, you know what, it's quite nice, because I would like to leave when I have a little part of details, you know, some engine visible. In this video I will not show it now, because the car, it is not finished. I mean, this is a first part of a video of, I think, of 2 videos I will do about this model, with a nicer picture at the end, when the model will be definitely complete. Now it's a 80% complete, not 100% complete. But what I did basically was to cut completely all the panel to make the car completely full open version, you know. So I cut completely the front clip, all the front clip comes away. I recreated the frame under the front section, you know. I don't know if you can see that right now. I try, but not so sure it will work. Becomes this way, you see. Basically, what you have here, it was the recreation of the front frame that I see now that I damaged it in one hook, I guess. No problem, we will fix it later, but with proper micro saw you can also obtain a quite easy opening doors, you know. So this car will have also the opening side doors made this way. At the end it will be a stopper, of course, from this side, but you can see also all the internal cockpit of the model. Basically it was extremely fun, and the hardest option ever was to make everything fit properly at the end, you know, because the line of the model should be always respected. So later on I will fix it. I placed 2 pins here, I don't know if you can see them, and there is a female hole in the under part of the body that you can fit inside when the model will be completed. But the overall fit is completed, you know. Now I don't fit it again inside because I have to fix the hook, but I'm pretty satisfied with it, and I think the overall look is taken. The part that I will not open now, it is the engine deck, because it is still not complete. So inside the model I have to add a little more detail, like cables and minor details, you know, as well as the mirror, as well as the locker for the doors when it will be in position. But anyway, the overall look of the 956 I think is taken. Also the different here in the structure in the back is taken, and I think we are nearly there, you know. So just wait for the completed car video. This is the car used by Stefan Bellof. He was one of my favorite driver ever. You know, he died in 1986 exactly with this car in a different livery, in a proper group of people that know this car, they say that it was the chassis 116. It was exactly the same car that he had when he had the fatal crash. And just consider that this was a guy, neither 30 years old, going to take Jack X in the official 962 car, with a car that was 2 years older, and it's private owner because it was a Brunn Porsche, it was not an official car. So this was a very interesting story. That's it, guys. Now I close because a big storm is arriving here in my contour, and see you in the next video.